Welcome back, everybody. In case it wasn't clear from the intro, I destroyed the laser tube on my CO2 laser. It turns out winter in Iowa gets pretty cold, and when water gets cold, it freezes and expands. So the water that I was using as a coolant ended up being the downfall of this laser tube. But that's okay, mistakes happen, and in this video I'm going to show you how to replace the laser tube, and I'll give you some tips along the way to help you prevent this from happening to you. Now, obviously, before you can put in the new laser tube, we have to remove the old one. For this model, there are two mounting brackets that, along with some rubber gaskets, hold the tube in place. Each bracket has two hex head bolts, so a minute or two with an Allen wrench and you should be able to pop that tube free. The front or output side of the laser tube, also known as the cathode, has a negative wire connected to it, so you'll need to remove that with a screwdriver. The same goes for the back of the laser tube, which has a positive wire connected to it. My laser tube was actually so shattered that the entire anode came off, which actually made removing the wire a lot easier. Both sides also have a coolant tube connected to them, which I initially tried to pry off with a flathead screwdriver. However, it ended up doing more damage to the tube than I expected, so I actually had more luck just cutting them. And with that, you now should be able to just easily remove the old tube from the machine. Now, before we install the new tube, let's take a minute and talk about why this happened. CO2 laser tubes are powerful, and they generate a lot of heat. Without proper cooling, they can overheat and fail quickly. That's why almost every CO2 laser system uses a water cooling setup, whether it's a basic water pump and a bucket, or a more advanced water chiller system like I have here. Inside the laser tube, there's an inner glass chamber where the laser beam is generated, and around that is a second chamber where coolant flows. The coolant absorbs the heat and carries it away from the laser, keeping the tube cracks in the glass. On the other hand, if the coolant freezes, it will expand, potentially causing damage to the inner tube, or in my case, completely shattering it and even cracking the outer tube. To replace that giant heap of broken glass, I ordered a replacement tube from Monport. Normally these things cost about $350, but since Monport is sponsoring this video, they were kind enough to send me a replacement free of charge. It came extremely well packaged and was light enough that I didn't need to recruit my pregnant wife to help. The tube came in a cardboard box that was supported with some nice sturdy foam, and after fumbling around trying to open the box like an ape, I realized the lid just slides off, and inside the tube itself was suspended in some more foam. The replacement tube does look a little bit different than the original, but all the connectors and important bits are the same, so it should work perfectly. Out of an abundance of caution, I left the foam on the tube while I was installing it, but otherwise you can pretty much just lift it into place. I did have to adjust the rubber gasket on the back of the tube, but they kind of just clip into place anyway, so I just loosened it and slid it over so it lined up with the mounting bracket. From there, I removed the rest of the foam and was ready to reconnect all the wires and coolant lines. Just like before, the black wire connects to the front or output side of the tube using a small mounting screw. The coolant output line can then be slid onto the corresponding port and secured in place with a zip tie. Same thing goes for the back of the laser tube. Connect the red or positive wire to the anode with the small mounting screw, connect the input coolant line and secure it with a zip tie, then finally slap the protective rubber cap back on to cover up the anode. And with that, all the important connections should be done, and the laser tube should look much like it did before, except for the fact that this time it's not shattered. With all the important connections made, we can secure the tube in place by reinstalling the mounting brackets on the rubber gaskets. Those mounting brackets are also the mechanism that you'll use to level your laser tube, which you'll need to do in order for your laser to function properly. You'll also need to use the old masking tape method to realign all your mirrors, since your laser tube's initial position will likely have changed. I have that full process explained in another video, so make sure to check that out, but in short, you place some masking tape over the entrance to your first mirror and fire off a super low power burst with your laser to burn a hole through the tape. Adjust the angle and height of each of the mounting brackets so the laser burns a hole directly in the center of the masking tape, then repeat that process for the second and third mirrors. However, for the second and third mirrors, instead of adjusting the mounting brackets, you'll adjust the thumb screws on the preceding mirror. Again, aiming to center the burn hole in the masking tape. The final mirror is a bit more tricky, but basically you'll place another piece of masking tape over the nozzle and adjust the final mirror to center it. Okay, so now you know how to replace a laser tube after you've shattered it, but how do you prevent it from happening? Well, first and most obvious is to not store the laser in a location that freezes. Unfortunately, I don't really have that option for this guy because it's absolutely huge and I don't have room for it in my main shop. And the garage portion of my shop that this thing is in doesn't have sufficient insulation or heating to keep water from freezing. The second option is to remove the water from your laser tube so that if it does freeze, it won't expand and destroy your laser. I usually hang onto a couple of the empty jugs from the distilled water that I use as coolant so that I can drain any excess out of the laser. It's as simple as removing the coolant lines from the back of the machine and blowing in one end to force most of the water out the other tube and into the empty jug. This likely won't get all of the water out of your laser, but hopefully getting most of it will prevent the tube from exploding by giving the expanding water somewhere to go. Option number 3 is antifreeze, or the CO2 laser equivalent of antifreeze. Antifreeze can be a great choice for your laser's cooling system, especially in environments where temps drop near or below freezing. The main benefit is that it lowers the freezing point well below 0 degrees Fahrenheit, and unlike plain distilled water, antifreeze is much less likely to have algae or bacterial buildup, which can clog your system over time. On the other hand, water does pull heat away from your laser tube more efficiently than antifreeze does, and since antifreeze has a higher viscosity than water, if you're using a cheaper pump, you might put extra strain on it trying to push antifreeze through it. And while it might be tempting to use automotive antifreeze to cool your CO2 laser, it's not recommended. Automotive antifreeze often contains additives that might affect the pH balance of your antifreeze, which could degrade your seals, tubing, or even the glass of your laser tube over time. Plus, antifreeze can get kind of expensive, so for those reasons, most people stick with plain distilled water as their primary coolant. I actually have another CO2 laser in the portion of my shop that doesn't freeze, and for that one I just use regular distilled water as well. If we're ever traveling and we turn off the heat to the shop, I always make sure to remove the water from that laser so that nothing bad happens, but we don't travel very often, so that's not too big of a deal. And with that, hopefully you know enough to keep your laser tube intact during those colder months, but if you're dumb like me and the worst does happen, now you know how to replace the tube to get your laser up and running again in no time. Now, this video is sponsored by Monport, so I wanted to give a shout out to them, but more importantly, if you're interested in getting yourself one of the machines I showed in this video, follow the links in the description and use the code MODHOB to get up to 10% off your order. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or if there's anything I skipped over. Otherwise, get out there, fix your lasers, and get back to cutting. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.